Hello from me, Lazar Hristov. We continue with the next lesson of the course by HTML. We are currently on Chapter 12, Images in HTML. We open the PDF file. Images are an important part from web pages. Through their appropriate use, impressive effects can be achieved and beautiful and aesthetic layouts. They are one of the most important things in the web page, but they are not part of the web page itself and are external files. Ways of adding images in the HTML page. Images are added in HTML via img tag as follows. He has two attributes used, src, source, and alt text. For the examples we will use the image photo 1 of chapter 8, to lay out the parts of my page. For this purpose, we create a new photo folder and we put it there. We can see that it is small in size at 35.6 KB. This is because it is part of screenshot, and its dimensions are 850 by 600 pixels. Image dimensions in Windows can see as right-click on mouse over the image and from the specific menu select Properties and Most Detailed Data, and at the bottom you will see them. So here is the result from the code in the browser. Our image is displayed. Back on the code, as we said, these are the two required attributes. src from English source, indicates the place, address, from which to load the image. There are two ways to specify the address, absolute, by specifying the full path or the internet address to the file. In our case, for example, this means e:/my_site/photo/photo1.png. When you make a real site in internet, not a good idea to use images from the internet, in a sense internet addresses, because tomorrow the site your images might be gone to, they won't show. The second way is relative, with a relative address, that means relative to the current folder when the image is in the same folder, directory, where the HTML page is located. Then the file is written directly, as in our case photo1.png. When the image is in another folder but in the same directory, where our HTML page is located, then write the name of the folder, write / and the name of the image. When the image is in a higher directory is written the last way, : the name of that directory and already the image. The alt attribute is used for alt text that is displayed if the image cannot be loaded. Besides these, the img tag has several attributes: title, global attribute, which is used to set a tooltip when hovering over the element, and more, the width and height attributes. We will consider an example with the use of these attributes. The code will be as follows. When we put the cursor on mouse over the image, we see that the hint is written, layout of parts of the site. Here we have only set the width of the image, and the browser automatically calculates its height. When setting width and image height, should make sure its proportions are respected. Otherwise, the images will look disproportionate or distorted. But here there is this facility which I showed in the example. you can only set one size and the other will be calculated automatically. Here's an example when it isn't proportion respected. We set the height to be equal to 200 pixels and the result is, that we have such a crushed image. We will also look at two attributes, which are not used in HTML5 but are often found. The first is border, is used to specify a border around the image. If the value is 0, no frame. The second attribute is align. We've already seen this attribute on other elements as well in the front chapters. Apparently the idea in W3C is completely remove it and the alignment to be created in CSS only. Here align can take the following values, here they are. Here is an example of these two attributes. The code is as follows, and here's what we'll see for you in the browser. Thus, the second point is, types of images used in HTML. Three formats are mainly used. GIF contains 256 colors, mainly used for logo, background, titles with special font and others. Supports transparency and animation. JPG, raster format, contains millions of colors, mainly used for high-quality images. Does not support animation and transparency. PNG, which is created as free and alternative to the GIF format and combines the advantages of the other two formats, maintain transparency. In recent years, apart from these formats, others began to be used. SVG, vector format, which allows scaling of images, without reducing its quality. BMP, contains RGB data, as the depth of color may vary. There is also another newer format. WebP, raster format, maintain transparency, use better compression algorithm. That's all for this tutorial. Best regards.